Complexity's newest edition of Cxzi and Cxzi has left fans wondering how this team will fare in Tier 1. Well, this past week, we got our answer. In this video, I'll be breaking down Cxi's POV versus FaZe and highlighting how Complexity is adapting to having less firepower.
Alright, so basically what's going on is Complexity got rid of Elige. They didn't really get rid of him, but they sold him off to FaZe. And Complexity picked up Cxzi and Cxzi for Elige and Floppy. I don't know exactly what the roles are. I think Cxzi is going to fill more Elige roles, and Danny or Cxzi is going to fill more Floppy roles. Anyway, Complexity's going for a mid-fight here. And Cxzi specifically had like a pretty good game. This series, he actually had a really good series, but I think this game he finished 18 and 12. And mainly what this is just get kind of like a look on what the new Complexity roster looks like. Because the way they structured before... Oh, Danny. The way they were structured before is they were like pretty much completely built around Elige. But now that they don't have that, I think it's going to be interesting to see like what their whole shtick is now. Because they're doing something right. They beat Falcons, they beat FaZe, they took a map off G2. All along, see nothing. So, force bought the second round as well. I'm gonna flash one in the long door. Danny, that is such a deep flash. I guess that's to get someone lurking at the box. That makes sense. Shift up cat, because we have mid info from this guy. But I think Danny's about to do the cardinal sin. Oh, he dinked him. Thank God. Okay. Well, before we continue, I just want to say the cardinal sin of this map is taking long control and then trying to play cat like alone, because the jump up box is a thing. If you have long control as CTs, it means the Ts are doing a lower default and trying to work cat control. They're either doing a lower default or they're doing like a heavy mid default. But essentially what they're going to do is, because they can't go long, their only options are pop B, pop long, or take cat. B pops kind of suck. Long pops are not that bad. But if you do it kind of later into the round... Oh my god, my music. If you do it kind of later into the round, then the CT could be like behind the door. You could be off-angled here, fucking anywhere. So usually you only see long pops in the first little bit of the round. Yeah, basically you know they're going to be cat defaulting here, so going solo cat with a 5-7 is kind of... Oh my god, he's going back too? Brother. To be fair, with a 5-7, this is like pretty much the only range where he's going to get something done is like on cat, but yeah. This is so risky. What? Okay. I'm more confused what Falcons are doing. Because why do we have a lower default, a guy outside long, a guy top mid not actually doing anything, and a guy outside B? Why? So we're doing essentially a lower default, but we don't have a mid smoke, so we can't cross, or I don't know. I don't know what this round is. I don't know what this round is from Falcons. This makes no sense. Hunting for kills now. Yep, that's fine. Have a skin you're getting bored of? Trade it. Want a skin at the lowest price on the market? Buy it. SkinsMonkey is the best automated skin trading site with a large selection of skins to choose from and a 24/7 live chat support. You get a 30% deposit bonus, and using code POLO, you can get an extra 5% on top of that. Meaning if you want a skin worth $135, but you only have 100, you can get that skin on SkinsMonkey right now. And if you don't have anything to trade, they do free giveaways every day, so everyone has something to gain from using SkinsMonkey. Using code POLO, you can also get a $5 bonus on your first trade, so click the link in my description, use code POLO, and make the most of it. Okay, so I'm assuming you got dropped a FAMAS so you can get full util. Hit on long door, flash on long door. Solid. Drop smoke for long anchor, this is all normal. But again, if you have long control, higher likelihood they're doing a cat default. But it's okay to kind of go up cat because we have info on cat, so you know they can't be up. Now the T's can be up, so it's a little bit more risky to play forward, so Cxzi is going to fall back. Chat, I'm just going to call him Danny. This is Danny. Say hi. Danny, calling him Cxzi feels weird. Yep, just spotting. He's kind of getting timing here. Yep. Now, okay, this is interesting. So in these situations, tier 1 teams, pro players, will always try to make a plan for the most common things they'll face. So the setup they're playing right now is one ramp, one long. Usually what will go on is this guy will say, if they come up cat, flash behind me. And this guy will say, if they come out long, flash behind me. So these two are kind of like connected by this util. Grim is going to flash behind Cxzi and then peek with the flash, so they're double fighting together off the same flash, because that's really the best chance they have at holding this site. If no flash comes in and Grim kind of plays back here, then Cxzi is just going to get overrun. Danny's going to get overrun. Nothing's going to happen. Does he have that flash? He does have that flash. Cxzi is going to peek on it. I don't know how he's alive, but he gets one. Nice, he got two. Two with a FAMAS against a force buy is not bad on a site hit. Because that's kind of his job, is just to get two there. His job is to multi-frag. Yep, just fighting mid. Oh, he saw boost. Did he see suicide boost or saw jump spot? He saw jump spot. Ooh, nice shot. Ooh, ecos. Solid. Let's look at that spray. One sec. And also, let's look at the setup that Cxzi are on. So they're on like a heavy mid setup. This might be, because Falcons aren't eco, the way ecos usually go on Dust 2 is you'll do like a mid door smoke and maybe flash through it. You'll do a mid door smoke, try and get pistols up cat, and then flash cat and just try and kill CTs if they're on cat setup. But the goal of this is if you flash through mid smoke, you kill anyone close. Maybe you can smoke this, scale up, and then you have to, like, you know, these aren't too long range fights at B. We're scaling up cat to try and fight A site. These are like super long range and also super long range. So that's why like ecos will usually go around mid. And Cxzi are just playing heavy on mid setup. Makes sense. He's aiming too low for this flash. He's aiming too low for this flash. It's going to go too far. It's not going to pop directly on corner. Look at this. Oh. My main gripe with this flash is you should aim a little higher than he did, because if Opper goes for pick and they go for this pick, like right on the corner, it doesn't blind. It goes a little too far. So aim a little higher than he did on this flash. That flash made 0 sense. We have a guy pit, right? Or did he throw pit smoke for himself? Nope. Oh, it's because that flash. Teased through like a super late flash, so Danny might have thought it was long pop. So you ripped the other one. This is also important as well. So if you have extra money, if you have a ton of money like they do, this is what a lot of teams do, is they just drop an extra nade or flash and spawn. And the reason for this is so that rotators can pick it up. You know, if you want to break mid smoke, you can. If you drop like a couple nades in CT and they start taking cat, you can have a player molly from sight. And then this player with the nades can just come over here and nade deep cat, grab the nade deep cat. That's where all the clips on Dust 2 come from, where you see just people just getting like owned on cat, is because, you know, if you have extra money, you just drop extra nades in CT spawn. And you just have like infinite nades pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Cxzi are just in like an ideal, super ideal setup right now. This is exactly what they want. So they have full long control. Again, if you have long control, T's are probably doing a lower default. And you have Cxzi set up back plat with the AK, the rifle. So you can play 2 denying mid B, you can play 1 holding long, and you can play 1 spotting cat as well, who is actually going to come back to help deny mid B. But yeah, I mean, this is just like super ideal. And they have a smoke to stuff the mid B. I like the mid lurk. This is also... this is so bad from Falcons. So what they did, and this is getting more common in pro play, is they smoked mid to B, and they smoked the mid lurk. But if you don't like get a guy out, if you don't actually take this control, what do you think the other team is going to do? They just know. And this is a gamble that the other team is playing. Like after they take long control, they have this setup. They have one guy playing CT spawn. They have another guy over in like this area spotting mid from like window or doors. And you have one guy spotting B. So what this play is meant to bully is someone solo holding mid from CT. Right, because now you can lurk out towards B, you can lurk out towards, lurk around the smoke, you can go through it. This is a common play, and you can even pop through this smoke is something that teams will do. So, the only issue with this is, if this mid player doesn't commit into B site, then they just know that you're not here. So now you've used 2 smokes on a non-fake, right? Look at this, they're gonna do like a cat hit, or they'll do like a cat fake and go back mid to B here. There's the nades I was talking about. And Cxzi are just going to be set up. They should be set up, like, perfectly for this. Danny, are you trolling? What is this smoke? What are we... Okay. PSA, chat. If you're here and you're throwing the smoke, left, right, click, throw. It will bounce and pop here. Danny. Oh my god. Nice. Flash to go through. Ah, that was a little bit egregious. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate he dies here. But, I mean, he could tuck over here and do the flash, but then they see it for longer. He could tuck over here and do flash, but then he might be too far away to trade. What is it? Is it JT? JT who's fighting? A little unlucky. But, like, it makes sense why he dies. Molly on cat. Yeah, this usually comes from suicide, so this isn't like a huge indicator that the other team is taking mid. Flash so we can do double peek on long. And they should know that Falcons are on eco, because they got plant last round, but complexity diffused. So they're on like a weird buy. Right, could be like a forced AK or like a Galil. Could also be pistols. Smoke mid door. Nice. Nice. Oh, Nico hit a really nice shot. Yeah, and this is something that you'll be seeing. Like, this is something kind of like the meta right now in pro play. Is just take fights. Just take fights. You'll see it a lot in these scenarios. Like, Danny is kind of just like fighting out here for fun. They do have like a mid setup, but like this guy is just like spamming. He's not actually helping. So Cxzi is now solo mid into 4v4 with rifles against a save. Or like against like a half buy, and he's deciding, yeah, I'm gonna swing out and fight this. And it kind of makes sense. So you're playing 2 on cat, 1 mid. So you're playing a hard gamble that they're over here. If your teammate's gonna die when you're fighting for this area, you know, it'd be a good idea to use him, right? Because now he's dead, so you can only use him for an extra like 1 second while the other people are like resetting their spray, crosshair, whatever. The issue with this is if you die, this is really bad, right? Because now look at the setup. So B is open, but you have info there towards long, so this isn't a big deal. You have 2 over here. 1 is not close enough to help cat, also not close enough to help long. So if Magisk is able to kill Grim here, this would be a really gross round to play. So this is really risky, but this is kind of like the donk meta, like the peak meta. It's just strong to just swing. If you feel like you want to peek, I kind of want to peek this, just fucking do it. If it's wrong, then after we work out, was it a good decision, was it a bad decision, figure it out, right? But the way that pro players are playing right now is like, if they want to peek something, usually they kind of just do it. And that's just where we're at right now. This was a really good shot from Nico, though. I want to see this. Yeah, it was solid. Another round out long. Flash for blue bin. By the way, I didn't specify on that last round, but that's a flash for blue bin. That flash pops over here, right here, so it blinds anyone crossing the blue bin. The other one he was throwing is supposed to blind doors. Usually it goes the door flash first, then the blue bin flash, because you know, first one pops when they're going to be in the doors, second one pops when they're going to be crossing blue bin. You don't want to do the other way around, or else it won't blind anyone. So they're wow, this is a crazy gamble from Complexity. So they're basically playing to full give cat, full give mid. In the hopes that Falcons are doing like a B reaction. Because Complexity have been playing heavy long, heavy mid pretty much the entire game, it was a little bit of conditioning. Because if you are playing heavy long, heavy mid, mainly heavy mid, mainly they were playing heavy mid, but if you're playing heavy mid, the gap is B pop / contact or long pop. Okay? So basically what they did is they took long early. If no long take and Falcons are trying to react on what we have been doing this half, they're going to be heavy B. Or it's going to be a long pop. Right? But because we've had long for so long, probably B. So that's why they kind of made this gamble. Which makes sense. Right? And this is kind of the thing you try to avoid as a caller, is you don't want to fall into the traps that the other team sets for you. Grim gets his kill on long. That's so useful. It's really good. I don't think Danny should be fighting this at all in a 5v2. I guess now he has info that if there was a cat lurk, they can't cost Gandalf. But you had Grim here anyway, so it's just hiding. Here's him scaling up a cat. Molly on him. Okay, he did whiff. I think he might have griefed a bit. So, in my opinion, he's 100 HP. Wait for this Molly to tick you like 3-ish times, 4 times, something like that, then peek. This is something you'll see a lot of players do, is if you have enough HP to afford to die, right, to take like 4 ticks, you can basically accept, I'm going to die in this Molly, but not before I get 1 or 2 kills. And when you're in this scenario, when you're in a 5v2, 4v2, anything like that, when you're a man advantage, if you go 1-for-1, if everyone on your team goes 1-for-1, you win the round. Probably wait a bit longer. But, like, he did kind of just get owned. Like, he really should be hitting that shot. Molly on lower. So, again, making it look like you're playing heavy mid. This is why Falcons have started throwing that cat molly. Nade on lower now. Spots one. There goes the nade. Terrible nade, Danny. That counter smoke on mid. So this is the second round that Falcons have thrown these smokes. And not done anything on it. I mean, they're getting kind of unlucky with the setup that Cxzi are playing because they are playing really heavy towards mid, so these smokes don't do as much as they should. If Danny was in, like, CT or something, this would be a lot scarier. But I feel like the issue with this might be maybe throw the CT smoke first, the mid to B smoke first over here, and then you throw the lurk smoke. Because what's happening right now is Danny is in, like, CT spawn. He sees this lurk smoke pop first, right? He's seeing it bounce first. He knows this one's coming in, and he knows if that's the case, he needs to stuff mid, or else this is going to be, like, really tragic. Whereas if there's just a mid to B smoke, then he might be able to come through on his teammate's contact. But because the other team is creating a pocket right here, if they're able to get into this pocket, this could be really bad, because they could lurk through CT smoke. With the smoke up, they could lurk through the smoke, they can lurk around the smoke. This just gets really rough. So because he's seeing the smoke before the CT smoke is popping, he's saying, okay, if they come out, it's going to be a lurk play, which means I have time to come in, which means I can deny it. So Falcons are kind of trolling by not clearing this out, and they're also trolling by kind of throwing these smokes at the same time. I do not think this is how they should be doing it. Oh, okay. Danny troll. Bad cross smoke. Hold the cross, bro. That was troll. I know he knows that was troll too. So that was troll. Just hold the cross to sight. Just hold the cross to sight and we're good. Cxzi are playing stupid heavy mid right now. They've sent 1 or 2 long max, like 4 rounds now. Ooh, insta mid flank. I like this. Oh, I like... Okay, and this is tier 1 CS. This is what we want to see. Really calculated gambles. You leave a big gap, so one other half of the map is super strong. Okay? We're giving long control so that we can clear tons. But because we're doing a tunnel clear silently, or walk pushing lower, walk pushing upper smoke, because we're doing it silently, Falcons won't know that they're doing that. Falcons might assume that they're playing another cat setup or a mid setup. So if you take tunnels quietly, you're going to have enough time to rotate to A, because if Falcons got info that Cxzi is pushing tons, right, if they were noisy about it, they're just going to speed up long and hit A. And then they found the gap, right? So you do it slow, so they don't know, and they won't speed up, and then you clear this, you rotate off, and now when Falcons take like 10, 20 seconds to exec long, you have your whole team stacked here. Only thing I will say is I don't know if a top mid push is good on this. I think it would be good if he did like this thing, where you like sit here on this off angle. I don't know if pushing is a great idea, because you have tunnel control. So if tunnel's clear, high likelihood they're long, high likelihood you're getting held here. I don't think this is a good push. Oh my god, he gapped all the way to suicide. Okay, never mind. Genius push. But yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this A stack. So not only do you have a long flank, you have 3 players on A site and a guy about to be cat. This is like perfect. Oh. Okay. I mean, good on Dexter. Good on Dexter. The only thing I will say, actually, is that, because you're kind of overstacked, I guess the B player and the mid player isn't dead yet, so this very well could not be a stack from Falcon's perspective. But if they did get a ton of kills on site, and this looks like they just knew that Falcons were long, then the Falcons player will assume there's a reason why they know, and that's because there's a flank or a tunnel push. So this makes sense why Dexter's holding this. This is the issue with long flanking. If they know about you, it sucks, because you have to clear this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this. It's, you just have to clear like 90 angles, and yeah. And if you get one clear wrong, one jiggle wrong, because the long player, the guy who usually stays back, is the opper, because he's the one who's sitting back plat, holding over site while his teammates scale. Once his teammates scale, he shifts into pit, holds long flank, or shifts over here, holds long flank. Because it's the opper, if you overstep a jiggle or mess up a jiggle, then you just die. Kind of unfortunate, but that's what comes with long flanking. Now we're doing 4 long. So Cxzi have said we're playing heavy mid the entire game. You're probably going to react by taking a long, doing a long pop, or hitting B. So last round we did a tunnel crunch. This round we're doing a 4 long stack. They don't have great guns, so it kind of makes sense why they would do this. They're just going to try and do. I'm assuming they're going to do a long pop, and they won't hard fight for long here. Yep. Yep. And the reason why you do this is because if you're hard fighting for long, if you swing with the best spawn and you have worse guns, you're getting a fair fight. Because the CTs are going to be throwing flashes, the Ts are going to be throwing flashes, you have MP9 versus AK, it sucks. But if you do a pop, you wait out the T's early flashes, so now you are the one peeking with your flashes, not the other way around. Because the T's have already used their flashes, now you're using yours. They're in the open, you have shit gun, but because you have shit gun, you need the flash. So this makes sense. You're giving Danny the op? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, I like going Goose, but he was so noisy about it. Yeah, and the main concept there, by the way, on that long pop, and this is something I preach in my coaching sessions, if you have a bad gun, or you're low HP, or you don't have a lot going for you in fair gunfights, try to find an unfair gunfight for the other player. If I have 1 HP, and I'm on B, I am going to go back plat, I'm going to crouch, and every 4 seconds, I'm going to pop my head up. Because I'm on a headshot angle, so I'm 1 HP, but I'm on a headshot angle, so it doesn't really matter that I'm 1 HP. And because I'm popping up every 4 seconds, a tunnel guy is going to peek tunnel, see that I'm not peeking, and then start to walk out towards site, and then I peek and I kill him, right? So there's a few things going for me there. There's other options, right, that aren't as good as that, but are still pretty good. The main concept there is if you have worse gun, you want to try and make the fight unfair for the other team. That is why the flashes are really important, is because this is how they're making the fight unfair for the other team. Thanks for the sub, Colin. I appreciate that, bro. Ooh, nice. Oh my god. So this is the donk sliding. First kill, great. Yeah. This is the meta, right? In CSGO, you could just hold that angle. But in CS2, you have to do this schmooving around thing. Also, something to note is you have shadow advantage on this angle. I didn't realize it was this egregious, but you do have shadow advantage by a lot sitting Goose. And that's mainly what he was playing for. So it sucks he didn't get this kill. This honestly was a free kill. I'm sure he died here and was like, I suck. Yeah, this was not bad. Oh, they saw boosts. Yeah. Okay, they're not on the boost anymore, which means it's going to be late top mid or late tons. This is what sucks, is that when he made the decision to push into lower, they weren't man advantage yet, and then they got man advantage, and he was like, I shouldn't be in here, and then he died, and then he was in there. So in that scenario, you can't afford to leave and go back mid. It's too risky. It's just too risky. He just has to take the fight. Trying to take the fight is less risky than trying to exit lower tunnel. Right, when they could be all over mid. They're doing this mid walk-up play again. And he caught a massive gap last time he did this. I want to see if he does it this time. Oh, that's a sick play. We're watching that back. The nade kind of missed. Basically what this play is. The nade pops in front right here. It should be popping around this area. So if any opper or rifler is spotting the mid push from over here, holding the mid push, then Danny is able to peek behind the nade, and it's hard for them to see, and he gets the advantage on it. The nade just goes a little too far, though. He can still kind of use it, but it's not ideal. I think he trolled a bit here. No, I guess actually, okay. This is what he's playing for. So he heard someone flash long for Magisk. There's 2 options he has. Push through suicide and try and flank this guy. If this guy decides to go towards long, then you have info, and they're just trapped in long, and you have their exit. And this is a solid scenario to be in. And it's relatively safe, right? If you sit here, and Dexter flashes long, and because you have no long player, Magisk, takes long, Dexter is going to try and cross towards long, which means if you stay here, you can try and kill him. The only issue is, if this is just the play that they're doing, which is flash, and then Dexter leaves and goes back towards B, then they can exit, go B, and then it's, not a great scenario. Cool, you have a long flank, but so he decides to go for kind of the safer route, but Dexter does just own him here. It's pretty unfortunate, too, because this was a really good round. JT doubles up. Do we get a Nick X round? They do a tunnel push. This makes sense. The reason why it makes sense is because so late in the round, 3v3, you have to have info somewhere. If you clear tunnel control, or if you clear tunnel, then you know they're going towards A, gives Grim a heads up. He can, you know, deny long or whatever, molly ramp, nade ramp, get ready to try and stop A site. And if they are here, then you're double pushing tons. In worst case scenario, you have a 2v3 when they're not expecting you to be fighting. So for pretty much every scenario, it's good. And if they went mid and caught a mid gap, then awesome, you're pushed into tunnels. And when they split up mid B, you have 2 in tons to fight that split. So this is just like good decision making here. Nade on tons, solid. Nice, nice. Really solid half. Really, the only rounds that they lost were... What rounds did they even lose? Like, it was early in the half, right? Oh, T-Side got a few rounds here. Bomb plants. Oh, when they were on like 5-7 rounds. Right, they lost like 2 ecos, and when they were on eco, and like 2 gun rounds. They actually lost pistol as well. That's crazy. So it looks like, yeah, they're gonna go gear up for a... are they gonna do an A exec? They're doing a double smoke cat exec, I think. Is this the, this is the elevator smoke, I think. CT smoke. Why? They're gonna do a spawn drop? They're doing a spawn drop. Should be doing a spawn drop. This pistol makes 0 sense. So you give the CTs a smoke to like play around if they want to come up in sport. You don't drop spawn. It doesn't make sense to me. Because also this smoke, the whole point of this smoke is it also blocks CT. You could just throw the smoke that pops here, like around this area, and it will give you a one-way on like long or sight, and it will also spread down and block CT. This is like the most common exec that teams are doing right now because it's the cat lurks. It's the cat rail smoke, which is this one. It's the one-way smoke to play over, and it's the CT smoke. So you essentially get 3 smokes out of 2. This is just bad. I assume he messed up this. I'm assuming he missed jump up smoke. It's the only way it makes sense. No, he definitely didn't. He definitely didn't. He definitely did not miss this smoke because you can see him line it up. This is exactly where he thinks he should be aiming, and it is a good CT smoke. They just trolled. They just trolled. I mean, maybe he's trying to get a smoke that lands like here, but even that I don't think is good because it has to land like further up. Danny's just better than the Falcons roster. True. Diet coked up. Yeah, mid a B smoke. And they forced as well, which is interesting. It's a really funny buy. CTs are on 3M4s, FAMAS, and Scout. Grim has Galil. It's because JT just dropped him Galil and just bought Deagle. Okay. Doing a mid walk. Okay, close mid clear. So usually, if you're ever in a team scenario or like a pug and this happens, and you throw mid to B smoke and you get out mid is clear, and you're in a 5v5, this means there's 100% 2 towards B. Usually how this goes, unless you're playing against Cxzi, who just gamble 3B for fun, is there's 2B, one's going to be CT, the other team probably took long if you get to the point where you can throw mid to B smoke, like you have cat control. So this is the exact setup that Cxzi ran that round, where Cxzi was here with FAMAS and doubled up. You take long, you have one guy long ready to flash for sight, you have one guy sight ready to flash for long, you have one guy CT trying to like spot mid B, hold mid B, and then you have 2 players towards B turtled up. And this is the ideal setup on Dust 2 is a 2-1-2. The only issue is because everyone knows an ideal setup on Dust 2 is 2-1-2, they'll try and play around that. There's not a ton of ways to do it, because again, it is ideal. It's kind of like a one-size-fits-all setup is a 2-1-2, obviously after you take long control. But if you get pushed off long, you double up on cat, you have one guy hold mid B, and then you do this, right? So again, 2-1-2. If you take long, then you have this, 1 CT, 2 towards B, 2-1-2. So we're throwing another CT smoke. Hear this guy running mid. Okay, interesting. Oh my god. Wait, he threw like the deep CT smoke. What is this even for? I'm trying to figure out what is this even for? Because they can jump up over it. It can like walk through. I don't know. Let me see. How did Nick X just do what he just did? Okay, farmed. I mean, maybe it's like, Maybe it's just to try and catch him out if someone likes to play in front of the smoke. I don't know. I don't know. Because it's a lineup. It's not that he missed the smoke. It's not that he missed the smoke. And I've seen teams throw that before. I just forget the reason why. Farmed. Maybe B default. Oh, we're just doing a straight B exec. Falcons are going to get the gamble right, though. Okay, this is cool. This is the top box molly. Yeah. Insane. Where are the flashes? Where are the flashes? Nice. Nice. Oh! Nice. The only thing I will say is I feel like the first flash should probably go in front. I don't think you should be throwing this as the first one because anyone up here won't get blind. I guess you just mollied it, actually. But... yeah, actually, I feel like the first flash should be kind of in front, and then the next flash should be the one over deep. Because if you're forcing someone off this top box, they're going to drop down and they're going to do this. And if they have 5-7 or MP9, this flash is not going to get them. Yeah, this is the most common mistake I see like teams doing is when they do B-pop, the first flash isn't one that goes like kind of in the doorway, like in front of it. They just throw these. So if there's anyone like, I don't know, fucking around here, it's just free kills. They didn't get abused on it that round. They're just doing a B rush? They are just doing a B rush. Get in there. Yeah. This is NA eco hunting, guys. Oh! Oh! Hit Danny, jump! Jump! Noob movement. Noob movement. Are they gonna do it again? Or is he going fast lower? Yeah, he's going fast lower. Slow lower, actually. So this is a lower default. This is a lower default I was talking about. You just have like 3 towards tons, 1 spotting lower push, 1 towards long. You can do whatever you want. This round, what Grim did is he threw the cancel smoke for the molly. You right-click the smoke into this corner over here. I'll show you his perspective, actually, just so you guys can see this. And any molly the CTs throw doesn't work. You play anti-flash, wait for the flashes. Yeah. It's just played perfectly. And if any of you guys in chat or watching this on YouTube, like, see this play, like, this is something you can do in your own games. That looks super easy, right? Like, Grim just killed Nico. But this is, like, the easiest play you can make on this map. This is the most normal play you can make on this map, is it's a right-click smoke, you hear a flash, you peek. And this is why we watch demos. This is why watching demos, if you want to improve at the game, this is why watching pro demos is good. This is why you watch your own demos to try and improve on things that you're doing wrong. Is because you'll find stuff like that. Let's say you have, like, I don't know, you have like 2 plays kind of like that for long where, like, if they mess up, you get the kill. You have 2 plays like that for cat. If they mess up, you get the kill. You have 2 plays for mid to B. If they mess up, 3-4 rounds a game, you're gonna get free kills you wouldn't have before, which will be the difference between you winning and losing games very often. Doesn't work versus Opper. Hold on, I need to pause for this. Of course it won't work versus an Opper because there won't be an Opper. If there's an Opper long, it's not going to be like a pop flash rifle. So I mean, it could be a world where the Opper immediately posts, gets blinded off, reflash comes in, and reposts. That's an option. But this is like a one-way smoke. That's why Grim is like just kind of like jiggling to check it. He's not actually trying to go for the kill. Yeah, and the only way that's possible is if you throw the put-out smoke on the molly. Because also in CS2, when mollies get put out, it's kind of hard to hear. So there's a lot of things going for him here. I don't want to say like, oh, obviously it's not going to be an Opper, because it very well could be an Opper. But with the way that they were playing it, they threw 3 flashes and got 0 counter flashes from the T's and still didn't peek long. So Grim can assume it's probably just riflers about to swing, because if it was an Opper, they would be posted off the first flash because there was no counter flash from the T's. So in these things, like, these kind of just like click like subconsciously. I couldn't, like, in the moment, I wouldn't be able to be like, oh yeah, obviously it's not an Opper here, right? Because I'm not, you know, it just feels like there's not an Opper there because of that, right? And that's the reason. So part of getting to like a high level is like thinking of this shit like subconsciously. It just registers, and then, you know, you get like getting to that point. So this is really good to talk about as well. So notice the pathing he takes. So he doesn't scale car. He doesn't scale wide. He scales directly towards big box. This is kind of similar to when you're hitting A on Mirage. When you run out ramp, if you see someone jump spotting CT and you know the other team is playing for mid, scale towards triple. Because if you scale towards triple, you're using triple to block CT, so you don't have to fight the anchor, and you're trying to shoot the con player or the jungle player on the side of the head. That's what he's doing here, is he's using big box to block this player that he knows is sight. He doesn't want to take long range fight with Mac 10 with bad spacing. He doesn't want to take long range fight over here with Mac 10 with bad spacing. So he's going as close as he can, and then going to swing with the Mac 10. There he grabs M4, Molly on window. Also, if you're going B on Dust 2, if you take sight, if you're... you know, getting bombed down, post plant, anything. The goal is to keep window mollies up as long as possible. Because if you have door smoke down, window molly, it's pretty much impossible to retake. So you can throw like window molly, wait 2 seconds, window molly, fades, wait 2 seconds, window molly, and you just chain molly window. And that's what we're going to see here. I haven't seen it, but I just know that's what's going to happen. But... This is very Danny-esque, what he's doing here. Let's run through Molly. Wow. Mid on lower. Wow. Wow. That Molly should not be that good, but it is. Wow. So, I'm actually kind of intrigued by this. Did Halzerk spot them lower? No. But he sees bottom mid smoke, so he says could be lower, because he says could be lower. Danny takes it kind of slow. When I initially saw this Molly, I was like, what is he doing? Because it doesn't full get this corner. It doesn't get this corner. It might get this. It just... I don't think it would have got it. If this player, who was it? If Magisk was standing fully in the corner, it wouldn't have got him. If this guy was standing fully in the corner, it wouldn't have got him. So, a little lucky that this Molly worked. He still died. He still died. But... I mean, this looks like a wrap. Oh. Oh. Yeah, and what setup? What contact setup? This is good. So if comes through door on Nickx shot, Halzerk peeks door. If come through window on Halzerk shot, Nickx will peek window. If tunnel, unlucky, but Nickx will probably just spot it every now and then. It's probably the plan here. Yep, here it is. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing from that demo is structurally on their CT side. It kind of looked how it did when they had a Liege, but it was more like everyone was kind of chipping in, whereas with a Liege, I feel like he was getting set up a lot more than the players are right now, if that makes any sense. They kind of used a Liege. They wanted to use a Liege on their old roster as like a battering ram to just own teams, but right now it looks like cohesively that game, JT just made really good reads, called really, really good rounds. And I don't want to say they got lucky, but there were a lot of rounds that they called that were gambles that they got right. So like in short, from watching that demo, I mean, we only really watched Danny's POV, but pretty promising. Pretty promising, honestly. The way they're playing right now is like not as reliant on a single player as they were on a leash. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And if each of these players can continue to improve individually, then playing like this, because they're playing more of like a phase kind of style right now is what it looks like. Where you just make like solid gambles and everyone kind of chips in, right? But they don't have one like star player necessarily, or at least like an old phase before they had a leash. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good, and pretty excited to see what we're gonna see from the rest of Cxzi. And if you guys liked this video, drop a like and a sub. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.